and welcome along. Today we're back on Lone Oak Farm. We've moved on to day 2 now. It is 1:30 in the afternoon, and we're going to take our wonderful John Deere 8400R here with our Great Plains seeder, and we're going to go and do some sowing. And what we're going to sow today, we're going to go field 30, and we're going to sow some soybeans. I want to sow soybeans. I think that will be great on this field. There we go. We are going to be using GPS, as you can probably hear there. I activated it by mistake. And yeah, so which is the best direction for us to do field 30? Looking at the shape of it, I think starting at this corner and just sort of working our way across is probably the best way to go. There's neither side, to be honest, is particularly good for a straight edge, but this should work. I think this probably will work better than the other way. So that's where I'm going to go this way. I want to line up before we get the GPS set up. We should get through this fairly quickly with this seeder, I think. Right, let's get the map down. Let's get GPS up fully. Right, and I want to line up with the field. Right, let's give this a go. Don't want that, want this. Let's get our lines on. Go new. Actually, that's pretty close. We'll move it across a bit. I think we'll pop outside and we'll just check the line of that. The line of that actually is pretty good. I'm going to move it again. We'll move it across a little bit. Perfect. Right, that will do us nicely, I think. So, set the GPS, turn this seeder on, and away we go. I think we left a little bit at the start, a little bit at the edge, but we're going to have to come back and do the headlands later anyway. The plan very much is to end up back in this corner. So if we end up back in this corner, it would be fantastic. We have 43% full on soybeans. Now, the seed I previously used for wheat is what we went from a full tank on. We did that on field 45, which is roughly the same size. So we might run our seed, we might not. We will have to see how we go. We've only got 17,000 at the moment, so unfortunately I can't go and get any equipment that really would do seed filling. But we'll see how we go. Right. Lift. Perfect. There we go. So there is our first row. Quite pleased with that. There's a little bit of the former potatoes in that corner. Right, drop. And away we go. Right, so I'm going to take the lines out now. There we are. And this is, I really do like this Great Plains seeder. So this Great Plains seeder is from the Big Pud pack. If you want it, I know a lot of people have asked about it. It's quite a nice seeder in that it's huge and it takes 240 horsepower. So this 8R is actually pretty overpowered for it. There's 400 horsepower in this 8R, and yeah, far more than this seeder needs. Which I find absolutely intriguing. I don't know if there's some... There's not some... Ooh. Can you? There's a sort of a notch at the back there. So I wonder if there's... You can attach stuff to the back of it, maybe. Maybe that's why it's got such a low amount. In that you might be able to attach maybe some sort of fertilizer bit to it or something like that. I have seen mods that allow you to do that, that are sort of have that kind of thing on the back. So maybe there is that. Maybe that's a thing we need on the map, because I know we've got a mod that does do that. So maybe that's something to think about and maybe add. You know, putting some solid fertilizer down as we're seeding. But I'm actually not too worried about how we're about fertilization at the moment. We're in a pretty good place. We'll get this. We can get a solid fertilizer on here fairly quickly. How far we get through this field today, I'm not sure. Kind of want to do it in. Well, we kind of need to be a little bit further than I currently am to get the whole field done. This video, but certainly if we don't get it done this video, I'll get it finished off, and then next time what we'll do is we'll get some solid fertilizer onto here. Turn that off and also lift it up. There we are. No, we might make it through this. All depends really on how much I muck about. But I do love the size of the fields on here. I mean, we've got 2 fields, and they will keep us going. Well, we've got 2 arable and 2 grass fields, and they will all keep us going throughout seasons. What we'll probably find is that we'll probably skip some days, or we'll move on some days fairly quickly. Like, I believe this is probably actually likely to be our only video on day 2. We might have fertilizer spreading on day 2 as well, but it's, you know, it's not necessary for us to have more than a video a day really. The thing with spring is though, the reason why we spent so much time on day 1 is because I wanted to. You need to get with seasons a very good grounding on your first spring. Everything really depends on how well your first spring goes as to how well your first year goes. Because with every subsequent year, you're very you go into it with stuff prepared, with fields cultivated, with stuff ploughed, you know, even with stuff seeded. You know, if you've got winter wheat or winter barley planted the previous autumn, then you're already in that good place. And also with grass, over the winter the grass doesn't go all the way back to the very first stage, which is where it is at the first spring. So you can actually get 3 cuts of grass in. So yeah, it's the first year is always the hardest for seasons. And so spending more time in day 1 and then moving on from there tends to be the best way to go. I am running it at 5 times. I'm running it at 5 times for both the live streams and videos, because I find that's a more realistic time, to be honest. If you have it 1 time, then you get everything done in 1 day, and you're fast forwarding through 2 or 3 days worth of seasons. Whereas with this, we're actually going, right, okay, we need to keep an eye on the animals as well as getting this work done. And if we don't get this seeding done now, then, you know, we look to get it done in the next day. We are actually making good progress at the moment. I'm quite happy with this. 9 miles an hour out of the tractor is pretty good. And of course the field is getting narrower the further across it we go. So it's taking less and less time to do a row. And as such, I think actually where the number is on the field is a little bit misleading insofar as how we're doing in the field. I think we're actually already over halfway from what I can see. Which is good, which is really good actually. Put that down. Yeah, get these done and then get the headlands out, and we've got some soybeans in. So yeah, we're doing wheat, which we will do for straw, and then these soybeans are pretty much pure profit. We've not got any pigs, so we have no need really to keep them. We've just got to find the best time of year to sell them. I want to get a drop trailer, which I've not found yet. We do have a giant trailer, which we're using, which would probably be great for selling anything. It's also going to be great for overloading into, so long as we're careful. Because anybody who saw the stream I did with Scorpio Girl knows that that trailer and the overloader I have don't necessarily play ball unless you line them up perfectly. So yeah, I think we're going to have a lot of fun with the AI and everything with that. I'm actually not expecting any of our fields to fill that trailer, so I think that trailer will just sit at the side of the field. We'll just keep emptying the overloader into it, and then it should be all good. But it's yeah, it's getting everything lined up in the first place. But that's a little while off yet. That will be late summer, early autumn at the earliest, I think. It all depends. We're going to have a grass harvest before then, and yeah, I think we're going to do half hay, half silage from that. Try and get our feed for our cows sorted, and then we're going to do silage harvests later in the year to try and earn some money off the silage, because we should get a large amount of bales off the fields, so that will be useful. And it's all, yeah, it's all the mindset to get into here is big, and I know that sounds an obvious thing, but it is that on this map it is just thinking big. If you use big machinery on these big fields, you know, it takes the same amount of time as using smaller machinery on the smaller fields on a British map. And the only difference is you get to use this really nice big equipment. And tractors like this 8R. This 8R is fantastic. As is its 7R as well, that I've also got on here. I normally try and steer clear of having two very similar tractors, but the 7R and the 8R actually are a great combination on this map. And just, you know, they cover the vast majority of the work we want to do. And this is the reason we actually, in the live stream on Friday, we cleared down our equipment. There were things that we had that just were completely unnecessary. So we dropped the T8 because the T8 and this 8R almost identical horsepowers, so we didn't need both tractors. And then on top of that you've got the big buds. So yeah, the T8 was either the T8 or the 8R were unnecessary. And to be honest, A, the chat chose this tractor, and B, this is a nicer mod than the T8 was. So yeah, I had no issue with switching or losing the T8. Similarly, we got rid of the beet harvester. The beet harvester and the loader and the roper mouse, we didn't need them. As you can see, we have two fields, and we are planting soybeans and we are planting wheat, both of which require a normal combine header. So yeah, we got rid of the beet harvester because we have no need for that at the moment. The loader that was with that as well, and also we got rid of the corn header for the gleaner combine. Again, no need for that. We are doing soybeans and we're doing wheat for our first year. You know, that is something, if we want to expand next year into corn or either corn or into sunflowers, we can. But this year, yeah, no need for those things. They're a drain on our income, and we just don't need it. It's unnecessary stuff. So yeah, so we've pared down a lot of equipment. So we've cut down on our expenditure. Hopefully, cut down on the amount of time that we get frame rate drops, because we have less stuff sitting in the barn now. And in fact, I also got rid of the John Deere seeder we had. And I've noticed since doing that actually I've not noticed a frame rate drop. So I figured it was probably a mod. It would appear that it was that mod at the moment. We'll see if we get any more frame rate drops, but certainly I noticed it because it tends to happen when I looked in the direction of that seeder. And in all honesty, this Great Plains seeder seeds almost everything we want, and we only have 2 fields to seed. So it's kind of a no-brainer to do that and to keep this Great Plains one. I'm hoping also by the time this goes out, I haven't done it yet, but I am going to try and do it over the weekend. So with any luck, it will be done by the time this video gets to you. I should hope, or I hope, that we're going to have a mod list done for him. So we'll see how that goes. Right, I think we've got one more row to go, and then... Oh, come too far out the field. One more row to go, and then we'll be on the headlands. I am impressed at the speed at which... No. At the speed at which this seeder works. Oh, we're right up against the edge. I think I'm going to fold this in because it's getting stuck on there. Pull it past and fold it out again. There we go. Yeah, we went slightly too far out the field. So back on. Back down. We are still seeding soybeans, which is always the worry when I turn it off. Is that that I accidentally switch what it is that I'm seeding. Alright, so we are going to fold this up again at the end, go back to the southwest corner and start the headlands. Hopefully we've left just about one width in it to do it. If we've done that, that will be fantastic. Yeah, next time we will most definitely be doing the we want to fold that up. We will most definitely be doing the fertilizing on this field. There we go. Get around there. And yeah, we'll get this fertilized with the solid fertilizer. We might have to do some work with the animals. We're likely to still be on day 2. So I doubt we're going to have any work to do with the animals, thankfully. What we might do, thinking about it later in the year, because I didn't realise the pigs are this close. I mean, that is actually pretty cool. And there's a nice little field there. Yeah, there's some nice little fields up by the sheep. Oh, we want to be here. And there's some nice, a couple of nice little fields down by the pigs that would be useful, and just sort of for feeding, certainly for feeding the pigs. So we might keep some of these in storage, or alternatively we might just go buy a whole load of pig food, which is not the cheapest way of doing it, but it all depends on how many pigs we have. We'd have to buy them, yeah, before next spring, because that's the thing with pigs. Pigs in seasons, you need to buy them before the spring, because pigs only, you only get breeding. Pigs only breed in the spring with seasons. So again, no point in buying them midway through the year. Might as well wait until the last day of winter. Buy the pigs, buy a load of feed for them, and get them going. We can then maybe just seed some stuff and maybe hire a corn header or something. But if we hold back a few soybeans or something like that, or even hell, thinking about it, if we just bought another field we put stuff in that the pigs eat. By midway through the year, we'd actually be in a pretty good place, so long as we have enough pig feed to last us until that point. So I think if we get to year 2 on this map, I think we will then look at pigs. Pigs tend to be very much a year 2 thing, I think. You kind of need to earn the money to have them in the first place. And if you start in spring, you know, you don't have that money to keep buying the pig food, is the biggest problem. Whereas by year 2, you should have enough money to buy the pigs and keep the pigs going. Need to come into the field a little bit more. Make sure I've got that edge lined up. We seem to have, for the most part, left enough headland without going over the top. I think we might have a small patch here. I don't know actually. Oh, actually, no. That I think there may be a tiny triangle that I've just left, but it's not a very big one if I have. No, it's really not a very big one. Right. Ooh, there is a bigger one, because I came off being in cab, which was a lot easier actually to navigate that. So we'll go back in and we'll lower that down and we'll make sure that we are in the right place this time. Yeah, much easier to control this in cab. Even if I am spinning around like a loony in various points. We're leaving a big edge now. Yeah. I'll come back and do this bit. Let's lift that. Don't want to be still seeding while reversing. We'll come back and sort that. There we go. Yeah, we've left a larger bit at this point here, but we're right at the end of the field, so I'm not too worried about that. So we will then just lift that. Down we go. So yeah, so we have wheat and soybeans, and those should be 2 good staple crops. As I understand it, this is very much wheat country, this map. And I've chosen soybeans because soybeans are actually pretty highly, pretty good price that you can get for them. But yeah, there we go. I'm very happy with that. Let's hop out the cab. And yeah, there we go, all done and dusted. That is where we are going to end today's episode. All that remains is for me to say thank you for watching. I hope you have enjoyed this video. Please give it a like, drop us a comment and give it a share. And for all the latest videos and live streams from FendtFarmer, please subscribe to the channel, and I will see you next time. Goodbye.